Speed gaming fans, and welcome to the Final Fantasy Randomizer Chaos Comedy Tour Spring Tournament. I am your commentator for this evening, Czar. I'm joined in the booth this evening by the Hangry Canuck. How are you, Hangry?
Doing well, doing well. Good to see some old runners taking on this game.
Classic matchup here for you today. Between one Willcleosis and our very own Darkmoon from the Final Fantasy Randomizer administration. We have some bonuses to get through in the chat here. Rob Draven all over it, thank you so much. Our fighter has plus 40 agility. Our black belt has plus 15 strength. Our red mage has the fighter strength. Our thief has level 1 black magic spells. Our white mage will have 20 agility. And our black mage will have plus 5 luck. Fighter looking pretty good. What do you say, Hangry?
Yeah, the fighter in the red mage team Will has I like, because if you find two good swords, you're going to be swinging like a mad beast. Looks like Darkmoon is going the black belt route, so he's going to be swinging like a mad beast anyway. But this is really going to depend on Will finding some good swords.
It is, and speaking of, this is our Vorpal pod in our randomizer tournament structure. Some interesting facts about our runners today. Darkmoon EX, Race Experience, Spring Tournament 2020, Duck Derby, Spring 2020, Summer Co-op 2019 and 2020, the OSV 2019, the Fall League 2020, Winter Dab 2020. No wins yet, but a plethora of experience. Favorite Emery is Princess Sarah. She bides her time. And some interesting facts about Willcleosis. Race experience, yes, in quotations. Favorite enemy, Dengwu. Will, a longtime member of the Final Fantasy Randomizer community. Great to see him back racing. And we are about ready to get this one on the road.
Nuke, Brack, and Life 2, all at level 1. It's go time!
About as loaded as you could ask for black magic. Even Thief with level 1 black magic now. You might want to throw him in that mix if you're feeling ambitious. I don't think we'll see any redrafts, though.
No, looks like we've got a bit of camping gear here. Looks like Will is going to pull the old bridge boss strategy that him and Falconic have deemed theirs.
With our open progression now, you really don't save way and way the other. You can go toward the west and hit the Dwarf Cave, Astos, Elfland, Marsh Cave, or you can go to the east. You'll hit Provoca, you can sail down to check the item there. Lots of options for the runners now.
Yeah, that +4 silver dagger in that weapon shop, that would be super for Will right now, especially with both fighter and red mage with the high strength. Well, Darkmoon made short work of Astos. I didn't see the fight. Gets the crown and the cube. Looks like Will is using the good old Bicky sprite.
We're going to have a crown to turn in shortly, and we definitely have the spells to get by Astos.
Darkmoon didn't check the chest in there, so he might be a little short of cash by the time he gets to Provoca, if there was nothing good in here. Meanwhile, Will pulling out the nuke on the Gurmps and the Werewolf. Level 4 already. Looks like Darkmoon's... I can see a lot of nukes flying. There's some cash for Will. That'll be good in Provoca.
Darkmoon making his way over to Garland, who will attempt to knock them down. I don't think Garland's going to be doing it, though, and see his nuked right away.
Yeah, this is one seed Garland wishes he probably would go 2,000 back, 2,000 years in the past recently. Alright.
White magic.
Harm 4, maybe, depending. Lock 2 is not a bad spell, but not much on level 2 to write home about.
Bane has its uses as a sweeper as well, so level 2 not quite as good as level 1.
Yeah, but when you got nuke at level 1, what other sweeper spell do you really need? Look at all the casts of nuke you have. You'll have 9, probably roughly by level 20. Nuke being non-elemental, nothing resists it, so it's just going to tear through every enemy. Looks like Will is picking up some equipment for that fighter and that red mage.
And we have a vanilla Bicky. How about that one?
Yeah, that's... Ooh, and a crystal for sale for 18k. Now, that's interesting. crystal for sale in Provoca, 18k. You have Nuke. Do you think about a pop grind to get it before leaving?
At level 1, I think the answer is yes. You could pop over there, maybe do a little hard reset, soft reset, find a good encounter, and then you have another item to turn in on your way. It could be efficient routing to go ahead and do so, but we don't know what the enemies on the POP might have yet. It looks like Wolf has stone poison, and Will takes a wipe. Oh no.
Looks like Dark Moon is probably going to turn that crown in, I'm going to say. He's following the fetch quest here as we go. He may check Marsh while he's over in this general area, but a lot of people don't like to check Marsh unless they got at least a warp or an exit spell.
Yeah, there are a lot of different enemies you can encounter in Marsh, and with script shuffled and randomizer, that can lead to a lot of trouble. Getting out can be a big problem without those spells.
Yeah, Nuke is just going to be putting in so much work this seed. Like, Astos is about to get Nuke back to the Stone Age right now. I didn't see the item he gave, because that window went by quick, but we'll get it on the flip side.
And it is the Rod, so once we find ourselves a canal, we could be headed over to the Earth Cave.
Yeah, that'll open up Earth, so if you're doing the Ruby check and you got a few levels of Nuke, I mean, it's not a bad idea just to dip down and get rid of Lich pretty easily. Plus, you can check the trap tiles, which is important for Dark Moon with that black belt, because he's going to want to find a grind as soon as possible. Now, Will's got enough money for one house, so I think what I'd do is I would grab the house, and I would head to the POP to try to get the money for that crystal. Because if that crystal turns into the floater, it could be a while before Dark Moon sees it.
That's very true. Some decent looking armor there in the Provoca armor shop, all plus. We had a silver helmet there. We had some chainmail +3.
Yeah, that chainmail is going to help Will out a lot, because both of his light warriors can use it, so that's going to give them some good absorb early on.
So we're looking at these items here now, Angry. What's your play? Do you go to POP? Looks like both runners are electing to skip POP for now.
No, I go POP. Because you get your levels, you get your crystal, and by the time you're done your pop grind, Marsh is going to be nothing but a memory. See, Dark Moon's going pop now. He wants that crystal. He just checked that crown on the off chance that crown could have been the floater. Because if that crown was the floater, then you could always, go Cardi Isles and loot money there for your crystal. So I like that play by Dark Moon, and I think Will is making the same play.
Yeah, that's a good check. If it is the floater, then you're already in the sky. You save all kinds of time in your routing. And Will resets after seeing the canal.
Yeah, maybe Will didn't realize you don't get a free canal. There's the pack you want. Zombies and Trolls. This is major money. I wouldn't even care that the black belt went down at this point. I'd want to get levels on my mages early, especially with Nuke. I think I'd leave the black belt laying.
Right, I think that's the play here. And it's like Will is going to head over to Crescent and check the item there. Not interested in the crown turn-in yet.
The other Will would be Will Bloodsworth. So level 6, not much there. Wall, maybe, might be good for Will if he does not find a ribbon. He might want to grab that wall, but we're going to see what these sages give us. They're not drunk today, so they're not roaming wildly.
And they give up the slab, so that's going to be a later turn-in. I'm going to translate out in Milmond. Also, look, we had Zap and Saber in the Black Magic shop. Saber was slot 4.
I think that slab would almost be a reset for me.
He's going to pick up some heals.
I like Dark Moon doing this pop grind. This is really smart to get that crystal. Except these Wyverns. They give good experience, but they give crappy cash. I like the armory play for money, but that's not going to give Will levels that he needs. But I mean, Will's two-manning this, so he's actually going to gain experience a lot faster. Because his experience is split between 2 players, not 4 at this point in time. Also surprised Will didn't check the crown when he was over there by the canal. That's a funny play too.
It has been a while since Will has been in the randomizer mix, so perhaps a little bit of ring rust being showed here.
Yeah, definitely. It's been a while since we've seen Will. He's more famously known for his comm skills than his running skills. Ooh, Astos went fast. Too bad you're not going to get to see it, Astos. Alright, this is the fight you want. Good experience, good money. I mean, this is going to be a really good advantage for Darkmoon. Because his mages are going to have good levels. This is going to make Ice and Marsh, if you want to go, that's going to make them trivial at those levels.
Darkmoon already showing level 15 on his mages. That's going to be a lot of spell charges. And yeah, Falconic with a good point. Now, Will is a strong player. Perhaps just not much practice into these flags. I know that I came into this flag set and I was a mess until I was practicing.
Yeah, if you don't practice this flag set, it could bite you. It could bite you early. I know when I first started practicing, I made a lot of stupid mistakes and silly plays, and I didn't mean to take nothing from Will from that comment. I'm just saying he was known more for his comms.
Heal 3, Harm 3, and Ruse available in the White Magic shop. And in our Black Magic, we are looking at Stop, Light 2, Blind, and Fast.
Fast and Lightning 2 is not bad. Lightning 2 might be a little sweeper, but I mean, with Nuke, you really don't need another sweeper spell.
I'm sensing a dip into Marsh here from Will.
Yeah, 'cause the canal is probably going to be there, unless this crystal turns into the canal. Now, if this crystal turns into the canal, then this might be a little bit bad for Will at this point.
Darkmoon is going to pick up that crystal now. He has enough gold, and he has some nice levels on his mages as well.
Yeah, so Darkmoon's set to go for this early game. Marsh and Ice probably ain't going to cause him too much confusion at this point, because he's got levels on his mages, lots of nuke charges, so he's sitting pretty there.
We're going to check the top of Marsh Cave first, and in our first chest, looks like we're going to find some stash of gold. Opal Gauntlet, that would sell.
Yeah, that would sell. He's probably going to find the money for the crystal in here. And there's our canal.
Yes, nice call, Canuck. He's the best color man in the business, folks.
But now, the problem is, if this turns out to be the airship, Darkmoon can practically skip Swamp, Marsh, and Ice, because he knows he's not going to need them.
It looks like Matoya's giving us the herb, so we have a vanilla herb as well. Some vanilla spices in this seed today.
And don't forget the Bones with Blaze! No! That's going to make Marsh silly.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate wipe for Will. He was on his way out, and it's going to be a time loss. And Blizzard as well, oh no.
Shadows with Blizzard, Bones with Blaze. Oh, Marsh is no joke. But fetching is good, because for every key item these runners have, they get a plus 5% experience bonus. So there's nothing wrong with chasing fetch quests early in the game, especially if you want to get some early levels.
That's very true. Each one of those items is going to give you a 5% boost. It doesn't seem like much, but once you have 4 items, that's 20%, and that is significant.
Alright, Darkmoon's going to give us a look at what the prince was going to... The prince's advisor is going to wake up the prince. Oh, well, now, here's a... Now, see, that ruby is not checkable at the moment for Darkmoon. Because he needs the canal, so he knows now he's either got to go to Marsh or he's got to go to Ice. It's just which one is he going to choose at this moment.
I think most people would choose Marsh over Ice. He doesn't know how nasty Marsh is yet, But Ice Cave can be just as bad. There's a lot of undead enemies in there and a different mix of enemies.
Also, this ruby could lead to nothing. This ruby could lead to, say, like a white shirt or a power bomb. So, if it does turn into something like a dupe or something, or like a white shirt or a power bomb, Darkmoon could feel like he wasted a lot of time grabbing that crystal.
I love it. I love how the seed is developing so far. Looks like Will did make it out that time.
So it looks like Darkmoon is looking like he's probably going to go to Marsh, but he's going to park his boat here on the outer sea.
No, he's having a look at that canal there.
He also realizes that they haven't blown up the canal yet. So yeah, he's heading for Marsh now. So he's going to come across this canal. So with the money Will dug out, I'm not sure if he's going to go back and buy that crown, or if he's going to start investigating the outer sea immediately.
That would be the crystal, and it looks like he is headed to the outer sea. Both owners surveying the canal.
Yeah, so Will going to the outer sea tells me he's not worried about what the crystal's going to turn into. So we'll see if he decides to head towards Onrak and Ordeals and those places. But I mean, without warp, I'm not sure if I'd want to hit the waterfall at Will's levels.
Would definitely be a pretty big gamble, but I've known Will be a gambling man, so.
And Darkmoon just got the bad news about the bones having some blaze. That was a quick reset out of that fight.
Yeah, he's much more equipped for dealing with them, but as for absorbing blaze and blizzard, not really much protection there yet.
Yeah, Will could also decide he wants to go through Earth at this point in time, but I think he's going to head south to Onrak and those places. Seems to me that would be the next logical choice, but he hasn't been to Crescent Lake either, I don't think so. Or has he? You know, he has been already.
He went over to Crescent.
So, I don't know, maybe he's thinking about ice? Because he's not heading down to the northern continent, so...
Judging by his direction, it looks like he might be headed to Onrak. And Waterfall, possibly.
Yeah, Darkmoon once again, those bones taking full advantage of that blaze spell.
Oh, another wipe. Darkmoon having a difficult time getting through this marsh.
Yeah, it looks like Will is driving the southern... Yeah, he's going to Crescent Lake again. I wonder if he might be attempting ice?
Volcano Dive also on the table here.
That is true. Volcano's not incentivized, but that armory, if that has, like, if he pulls out, like, a good sword, like a plus Vorpal, Massa, or Excal, well, Vorpal and Massa, well, just Massa right now, because Vorpal and Excal require class change. But, I mean, other than that, if he pulls out a solid Massa out of there, that could put in work early game. Uh-oh. Oh, jeez, Darkmoon gets wiped again.
That is the third wipe, and for all the time that he spent preparing at POP, it's not helping him much right now.
No, this is how Marsh control you major time. I mean, it's only a normal dungeon, but I mean, if you go in at low levels, it can be rough, especially if the enemies roll a bad script. And
Looks like Will is making the move toward the volcano. Let's hope he finds something good in there.
Yeah, he's probably going to hope for a good sword or enough money that he can pick up the crystal and do that fetch quest. So let's see if Darkmoon can make it out the fourth time a charm here. I think if you're Darkmoon at this point, every fight you get into, you just gotta let the nukes fly. Like, I wouldn't worry about running, just get them before they get you.
This kind of marshes where having a thief could be somewhat beneficial. Your chance to escape is increased if you have him in the top slot.
Yeah, that's definitely a good possibility. Because I find with a fighter and a red mage, like, they're not very good runners. Like, it does take a while to run. But Will's gonna full clear this floor, it looks like. I wonder if Will realizes there's no loose in these seats.
I certainly hope so. And let's see. He's avoiding the trap tiles, it seems.
Because it seems funny to me you would loot this floor if there's no loose, but look, he's just grabbing a few chests.
Darkmoon is out, and he has his canal, so he will be moving on.
Yeah, I think he's definitely going for that ruby next check. Like, I can't see no reason why he wouldn't. Because you got the rod, I mean, you check the ruby, you can probably take down Lich on your way back. Check the trap tiles, hope for a grind. That Aegis shield will be good when we'll class promotes.
And there is a big find. We have a ribbon +3, a flame armor +3 in the armory. Great find.
Yeah, that can be worn right away. That's going to be really good on the fighter. Now with that ribbon, at least he doesn't have to worry about the wall spell.
Flame armor will also grant protection from ice, so he has some elemental resistances now.
Yeah, good thing he doesn't have to go back into Marsh, because I think that flame armor wouldn't help him against Blaze too much.
Titan is fed, and we're going to find out the moment of truth from Sarda here. Is Ruby required or not?
It is. That is the key. So that puts Canaria key locked on the table, so that crystal is required. You think we're gonna have another floater here, sir, or what?
Well, you know, I'm always pulling for a floater in Sky, Sky, Sky myself. We have a lot of items still on the table.
That's true, actually. Ruby is not required if Ice does have the floater. Or on-rack, or anywhere else has the floater, really.
Looks like Will is headed back toward Provoca now. Going to possibly pick up a recharge there. He does have enough gold for that crystal, I think, as well.
Yeah, that's Will's plan. Pick up the crystal, turn that in. So he's going to come across his key. So Darkmoon here, I think he's almost got to go to Earth. Because he's got to check the trap tiles. He wants to get that black belt online as soon as possible. But he's getting the bad news about the shadows.
Eats another blizzard there. It's pretty dangerous routing. Oh no! And looks like he didn't tent up, so...
Shadows again with the blizzard. Getting first strike. That's the thing about the shadows, too. They have a high first strike probability. And when they have something bad, it never turns out good.
Gold has been in short supply this seed. Darkmoon had a pretty good stash, and we're seeing a lot of gold being spent.
Yeah, early game, when the vendor item shows up early game and is a high price, it's kind of hard to keep your cash, because you want to get that as soon as possible. Well, that mage staff should turn into a little bit of money as well.
Do you sell the mage staff here? Or if you will, I think you should probably sell it. Darkmoon, maybe not. You could put it on that black belt, find an undead pack, plausible grind tile.
Yeah, no, I agree 100% with you there. That would be the play for Darkmoon, would be to keep that mage staff. Will can take it or leave it, because he's got the red mage with nuke anyway, and the fighter's going to be swinging, so there's not really much of a point.
Darkmoon can get over to Crescent Island.
Because at this point, I think Will is probably going to walk and grind two-man this. I can't see Will stopping to do a major grind anywhere. So that's going to build him up some time when Darkmoon actually does stop to do his grind.
Looks like Will is headed back toward his ship now. We're going to see where he ends up sailing to.
He's got to go turn that herb in. He's got to follow this fetch quest. He doesn't have much of an he doesn't have an option right now.
Both runners wanting nothing to do with the ice cave at this time.
Yeah, well, you got your... And the thing is, you got your canal and you got your ship. So that ice cave could hold something you need. It's not a free cave anymore, because you've already found your canal and your ship. So those two guaranteed inner checks are done. So, I mean, that ice cave has got to have something we need at this point.
See, also on the table, we have a waterfall play. We have an ordeals play on the table as well.
Yeah, lots of options for our runners right now, so we'll see what they happen to do. It looks like Darkmoon is heading back towards Melman, so he might be going to check Earth. See what he gets out of those grind tiles. Meanwhile, Will picking up his Ruby, and he will be chasing that pretty much immediately, I'd say.
We've seen some divergence so far, mostly avoiding ordeals and ice. It's going to be interesting to see where this seed goes. Right now, I'd say I'd give Darkmoon a little bit of a lead based upon the fact that he's already turned that Ruby in.
Yeah, based on his levels and the fact that he's turned that Ruby in. But, I mean, Will's going to have all this time to make up once Darkmoon finds his grind. Because I don't believe Will's going to do a dedicated grind at this point.
We have Cure 4 and White Magic level 5, Lightning 3 and Quad X and Black Magic level 5.
We had Life at White Magic level 4, so that's good. We really haven't seen Life 2 yet, so... And yeah, it looks like Darkmoon is going to make the Earth play now. Check these trap tiles. Oh, Life 2 was level 1, you're right, yeah.
I might have checked Corneria first to see what is in the key lock, but we'll see how this ends up working out for Darkmoon here.
Yeah, I mean, he's in his general location anyway. He had to come here. He's got 2 mages with nukes up in the mids. He can get rid of Lich if he wants to. And especially if he finds a good grind and that black belt comes online, he can just plow through this and just check the key later, right? Because he's got to go back that way anyway, so.
We see Mud Golems in our first tile, not bad.
Zombies in our second tile, you don't want anything to do with that. Mud Golems would be good to get you to... Mud Golems would be good to get your black belt to about 21 or 22 so you can get them online to fight something better. I don't know if I'd want to do a 32 grind on Mud Golems.
Right, I agree 100% with that.
Because right now, as it stands, those Mud Golems are still going to hit hard. Because he's got no armor on that black belt. And they rolled pretty beefy, close to the 300 mark here. So I
Is now making his way over to turn in his Ruby.
So I don't know if this is a viable grind for Darkmoon right now. And I think he feels that as well.
Right, I think it's more of a stepping stone. He's probably going to continue on here, and indeed he is. He's going to do some checks here in Earthgate.
Yeah, because there is one more trap tile to check in that northern room. There's 3 separate trap tiles on this first floor of Earth. The 2 on the Hall of Giants and this one here, so. And Will got his key, so we'll see if Will decides to check the key, or if he's going to decide to go to Earth as well, because I'm pretty sure he could handle Lich at this point.
These gargoyles have ambushed Darkmoon and are giving him the business.
Yeah, see, now this is good for Darkmoon, because, yeah, see, those Mud Golems roll too high. If those Mud Golems would go down to 1 nuke, yes, I could see that being a viable grind. But if they don't, no, yeah, see, he's out. I agree with this play by Darkmoon. But what that play did on Darkmoon's side is actually give Will a chance to catch up. Because now Will and Darkmoon are pretty much in the same area now.
Looks like Darkmoon is heading over to Astos now. I'm going to check some chests here and some tiles, perhaps.
Yeah, that's his play. Darkmoon needs a grind tile. Darkmoon wants to get that black belt online as soon as possible.
Yeah, you're approaching the 30-minute mark now. That's around the time, if you took a black belt, it's really time to buckle down and find where you're going to take that grind at.
Oh, Wizards with Thunder! That's not a good grind out. And that's gonna suck in ice.
So we have seen Blizzard, Thunder, and Blaze already. Is this a Danny seed?
Ooh, a double mage tile. This is good. This is what Darkmoon might need right here. Because these never roll high on HP. Yeah, I think this is Darkmoon's grind right here.
Mage is pretty good experience, not quite as good as the fighter. I believe it is viable, however, at this point.
Yeah, because mages don't hit hard at all. As I say that, they're taking down the black mage pretty good, black belt pretty good. But I mean, you could throw your silver Cheerio, or if you got any Cheerio at all on your black belt, and then those mages aren't going to hit you for nothing, right? It's just a matter of getting the black belt to the point where he can one-shot them. Once he can one-shot them, this is easily a viable grind you can take to 35.
Indeed, and Will has just hit the jackpot in Cornery Castle with the floater.
Oh, baby. But I mean, I'm sure as soon as Darkmoon has done his grind, that's the next thing he's going to check. So now this is Will's chance to get some exploration in. But now, what do you take your black belt to? Do you take him to 42?
If I'm racing Willcleosis, I'm going 32. We have a nuke level 1. We have fast available. I think 32 is the number.
Yeah, but 32 does not make Topher as solid as 42 does.
This is true, but we have our red mage with the fighter strength and saber available as well. So we kind of have a backup damage dealer just in case.
I think Darkmoon might two-man this for a while.
Yeah, I think two-man is a great play given what the red mage has available, at least until maybe 26 or so.
Yeah, you'd love to get your red mage into the mid-20s. That would be probably what you'd want. Flamesword -5. Probably won't be doing much, but better than nothing.
And at just over 30 minutes, Willcleosis is in the air. Routing is going to be very important now for Will.
He's going to hit ordeals first. Looks like Will is going to prioritize key item checks at the moment. Now, if it was me, when I'm rolling a fighter, which I always do, and I get the floater, the first thing I'm checking is the Cardials. The very first thing.
It's a good play. You could definitely find a good sword, some good gear there. With
go ahead.
With the Aegis shield available, I'm pretty sure Will's going to be looking to sniff out that tail as well.
Yeah, Will's going to need the tail for this seed to be viable for him, for sure. But Darkmoon's not going to need the tail, so we'll have to see where the tail lands, and if it's down a rabbit hole, well, maybe if Darkmoon doesn't go down that rabbit hole, it could be an advantage for him here.
We're going to get our first look into our deals now. See what the warps have in store for us this time. You come into our deals, you never want to see the fourth warp, where you have to walk all the way around. It's usually a pain.
Yeah, I never knew that fourth pillar existed until I started playing the random.
Right, it's really interesting the things that you can learn in Randomizer that vanilla, was either bugged or missed.
Looks like Will is getting caught in the pillar maze a little bit here. He doesn't have warp, so if he makes a mistake, he's going to have to push through. Because if you have warp in here and you take a wrong way, warp will bring you back to the previous pillar, which is really good, especially on the on the two choices.
Yes, warp has amazing utility in speedruns and races. If you get an early warp or an exit and you use it efficiently, you can save so much time over the entire run.
Mage staff putting in work for Will right now. Looks like Darkmoon has almost got that red mage down and down. Oh, these mages are hitting pretty hard. He's going with the mage staff, but he can probably two-round this if he gets good rolls.
Yeah, he's definitely going to need to get moving here. He's in danger. I did not see any armor bracelet-wise available, so this black belt is going to have to level up to get any amount of absorb.
Yeah, but the good thing here is you're not far away to go save. You're just out the door. So, the grind isn't as scary as you might think just because the mages are hitting hard. You can easily go out, pitch a house, you're back to full, and come back in. This grind is going to depend on your heal pots at this point, though.
Ice shield +4, that's another great find for Will. He now has resistance to ice and fire on that fighter.
Yeah, that +4 ice shield. I mean, if he finds the ribbon, he almost really... Oh, there's the tail. That's going to be good for Will.
If he finds the ribbon, I would probably take the ice shield over the Aegis shield.
I was just about to say that. If he gets a ribbon for that fighter, he wouldn't even need the Aegis shield at this point, because the +4 ice is better absorb-wise.
So with the tail and ordeals, we're most likely going to see Will head on over for his class change. In thinking about endgame, evasion becomes the growing concern for Will. We have not seen a defense sword, we've not seen invis or ruse. No, we did see ruse, that's correct.
Okay, Darkmoon's taking a high risk here. He's got no camping gear to save. So he did that grind and stuff. So he's heading back now to get camping gear. If he hits a bad encounter on the water...
And he makes it, thankfully. That's always a clincher that you never want to be in. But sometimes it's just kind of how the seed deals you, you know?
It looks like he might be done with the grind. He might have only went to, like, what, 20 maybe?
Maybe he's looking to pick up levels along the rest of the way. Meanwhile, Will is moving right along with his levels. Another sandwich encounter there.
Yeah, with a black belt, though, you really can't do a walking grind. It just doesn't work out. Is Will really swinging the silver dagger? There you go.
He is, I love it. I told Will I was putting him over here, so we're putting him over with that one for sure.
For anybody that doesn't know, I kind of made that weapon famous a while back. In a drunken stupor of a race.
I shall give you the honor of true warriors.
Alright, so now Will's got the class change. So now any weapon he comes across now, he's going to be able to wield. So I have a feeling he's going to check the cardios. If he comes across like a Vorpal plus, an Excal plus, or a Massa plus, he's not going to have to grind. He's going to walk and grind. Will is in a very good position here.
He elected to keep the ice shield over the Aegis shield, so he wants that absorb right now.
Well, I can see it because right now he's got resistance to 2 elements. If he finds the dragon armor, then yes, I can see that ice shield getting thrown out for the ages. Because the dragon gives you resistance to all elements. Come on, big money, big sword. Actually, what am I saying? I always get negative swords. I want to see a bad sword.
And Darkmoon is electing to sail to ordeals now. Could be losing time not checking Corneria Castle here.
Well, there's an Opal, Cheerio, and a Pro Ring. So that is going to make that Red Mage very well armored at this point. Yeah, and Darkmoon's going to find the red herring here. Because in all actuality, he really does not need the tail.
Looks like Will is going to turn in the slab now in Lefane. This is a good play.
Yeah, I like Will doing all these key checks because he's gaining extra experience. If he fights the enemies as he goes along, he's going to get his levels in Sea and Sky. For sure. Because if you got a fighter with a good weapon, you can get through Topher in mid-20s on a fighter. If you get like a +5 sword, mid-20s for a fighter in Topher is not a stretch.
I agree. It's fighter is heavily dependent upon current equipment and gear available, whereas the black belt you really don't need to fish out much gear at all other than a ribbon, perhaps.
Yeah, see that's the difference. Like the fighter depends on gear, but on the turn of a coin, that black belt depends on a good grind. But we do know from what we've seen from grind tiles that there is a 3-eye grind out there somewhere, because we are on the A side trap tiles.
That is somewhere. I wonder if the runners are aware of that, as Will ended up picking the chime in another vanilla splash at Lefane.
Yeah, that's a required chime. Now, you got chime and cube, sir. Are you feeling pretty on this guy?
Oh, I'm a little wary of Sky. You could get a lot of experience on the way up, maybe find a ribbon on the way up, but your evasion. Evasion is my main concern for Will right now.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of chests in Sky to check. You could easily find a good weapon in there.
It's easy to get invested in Sky, and before you know it, you're full clearing on the 3rd floor, and if you don't find much of anything, you have no warp, you kind of have to push through. Lots of things can go wrong on the Bridge of Destiny.
Good point, I agree. See, Will's going to buy some spells here. None of these class change. He can buy up all the spells the Red Mage can use, so this is good. This is going to save him.
Classic gamer with a good point. The fighter does have the plus 40 agility, which is going to help you get out of battles that you need to.
Yeah, it's one of those, do you make the play or do you not make the play? Because really, what has Will got left to do incentivized way? He's got ice. He's only got ice and sky available to him at the moment. Incentivized, that he hasn't seen yet. So
waterfall as well. We also have waterfall on the table.
Yeah, but I think if he's like most runners, you probably won't want to do waterfall till you have Deoxyale in your hands. So you're probably going to check everything else before you head to the waterfall.
Like he's coming back to Elfland now. He wants those spells for his Knight. Knight going to be sitting pretty here. Sadly, no ruse, but does have heal 3.
Looks like Darkmoon is going to give us the waterfall play. So the longer Darkmoon fades that key, the more this is going to benefit Will.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that did not return to Corneria Castle yet for that check.
Oh, now Will's got 2 life 2 casters. A fighter with life 2 and a power gauntlet and a defense sword, you could pretty well solo. Tier 4 too. You could pretty much solo Topher.
The way things are stacking up here, I think we may have another one of those elusive fighter Knight seeds here, greater than the black belt. At least in
Yeah, I think Darkmoon made the mistake of stopping his grind, though. He should have finished it out till the end, because now he's going to do all these checks, but he's still going to have to go back for a grind, right? I think I would have finished out the grind and just rid the black belt right through everything.
Perhaps he's hoping to find that eye tile maybe in some of these checks.
Yeah. And I will down in ice. There is 5 trap tiles down here, but some of them are seldom checked. So we're going to get a look at 2 key items we haven't seen yet, so it's going to be pretty good. See what the waterfall and ice cave has here.
We know the wizards are nasty, but he does have strong elemental protection, so...
They still show up in packs of 6 or 7 if they get the jump on you. He does have that ribbon, though, so I'd say his red mage is pretty well protected. Because his red mage has got quite a bit of HP here, 311.
Yeah, if you're running 2-man, he's got everything you want to see. Life 2, heal 3, elemental protections. Only thing really missing right now is perhaps defense sword. He's really in good position equipment-wise.
Yeah, he does still need an endgame sword, though. He's still missing that one. Bill's not even going to check the trap tiles, it looks like.
Here's a double Rocky.
These can show up in 4 as well. So, but they're pretty high. They're north of 400 HP here at the moment.
So the robot has the Oxyale. That's going to be a good check for Darkmoon. He may elect to head into C now.
Yeah, and see, that might save Will some time in the end as well.
Depending on how Sea Shrine goes and what he decides to do there, Will's going to make up time on routing for sure, because he's in the air.
Now, you don't have the Oxyale. Will's hoping to get the Oxyale in here, because he'd like to do it all in one go. But if he doesn't find the Oxyale in here, do you fade the waterfall for Sky at the moment?
Well, we just found the Oxyale in Waterfall, so I think the next play for Will after Ice, if it's the bottle, definitely go turn that in. If it's the loot, then you probably should start, getting your orbs done. Might be time to head into Volcano.
Good chunk of change in that chest. See, another reason I don't like the waterfall with no warp is you gotta run out. So Darkmoon is out. We'll see if he decides to take on Sea Shrine or not. Looks like he's going to. Pretty sure he has what it takes to take down Kraken 1 at this point.
Looks like the item in Ice Cave is deep. We're going to have to go to the last floor to get it.
We'll seize the air bones. Yeah, it's probably going to be in like that 3-room with the portal to the vanilla incentivized chest. I find if it shows up on this floor, that's normally where it's at. Ooh,
there's a giant sword. I would say, you know, it's barely viable for endgame, perhaps, at that +4.
If he finds the bonk, it's definitely viable. Oh, and there's our bottle. I was going to say the middle chest. Oh, and there is our loot. In C in one of the very first checks people check.
Darkmoon's going to head out immediately and take a save after he gets that loot.
So this bottle is going to turn into something like the Adamant, the TNT, or even the bonk and white chair. But looks like Will's going to take down Carrie here while he's here. No reason not to. You're in the general vicinity.
Yes, I like this play. This is a great play by Will here.
Meanwhile, Darkmoon is going back in. We'll see if he decides to check any chests, but I don't think he will at this point. But then again, Darkmoon doesn't have a ribbon yet either, so he's probably sweating that a little bit.
And we know that wall is, I believe, level 6, so it's not going to be easy to come by. Ribbon becomes increasingly important depending on the wall availability. Will does have a silver dagger. I think he's going to be using that giant sword, though, unless he finds something better.
Yeah, he doesn't have a black wizard, though. You need a black wizard to make it true. Looks like Will is full clearing Volcano here. He's desperate for a sword at this point.
He wants something. I think he's trying to sniff out that game changer. A heal helmet +3, that's going to be good for the night.
Yeah, heal helmet's got great defense. It's better than the opal helmet, actually. Definitely better than a +3 would. Hasn't thrown the Aegis on the fighter yet. He has kept it, so he's probably just hoping he gets that dragon armor somewhere along the way.
I believe wall was in the second slot. We did see it on the red wizard.
I mean, a +4 light axe? You can get away with that.
It's better than a +4 giant sword.
But Will's going to give us our look at our first Fiend. He's going to take on Carrie, the Fiend of Fire, at the 46-minute mark, 50 seconds. And he's just going to fast that fighter with that giant sword. Carrie coming out swinging, though. Giant sword, 8 hits, 352. Looks like he's just going to swing and toss out a nuke. Nuke comes out, 114. Carry, 5 hits, 5. Bounces off the fighter armor. Fighter with 8 hits, 239. Sorry, with the nuke for 234.
And we have our first orb at 47 minutes.
So he's got his first orblet. He's got his rod. I mean, I'd almost go down and take care of Lich at this point in time while you're in the bottom of the sea, which looks like that is the play Will is making.
Yeah, this is another strong play here. Let's get these orbs down that we can, and then let's move on from there. Also, you gotta love Randomizer. We're seeing the giant sword getting some much-needed love.
Yeah, I like to clear the continents as I go. Like if I'm down south of the southern continent and I can get rid of Carrie and Lich, I will do it before I head north. Just so you got the bottom of the world clear and you don't have to go back up. Yeah, Volcano's not incentivized, so that incentivized chest really isn't important. It is two trap tiles, but I mean, at this point, Will's fighter is already north of 600. He's not going to take a dedicated grind. He's just going to grind in as he walks now. Looks like Darkmoon is going to take on Kraken. Give us our first look. Looks like it's Brack and Brack strats.
Brack is super effective.
Oh, Kraken's got fast. Kraken's bringing the pain. I bet you he won't swing, though. Never swings when he casts fast. Come on, Kraken, you fasted yourself. Show us something, son. Show us.
He's resisting those Bracks.
But he's going heavy on the spells. Black Mage kind of feeling the abuse here. But he does get the Brack to work. Kraken wasting that fast. And now both of our runners have one orb lit at less than 50 minutes in. Do you think either of these runners feels behind at the moment, sir?
Given the history of each runner, Darkmoon perspective on Will perspective on Darkmoon, I think both runners feel behind at this point.
Think that might cause them to take risks they wouldn't take normally?
I certainly hope so. Especially, Darkmoon, the longer this time goes, a 50-minute mark now, and we're still out in the air, you feel that pressure. And that pressure can lead you to make decisions that can either benefit you greatly or take you down.
Yeah, I think Darkmoon's of the mindset. He's hoping the floater is out there so he doesn't have to sail all the way back to Canaria to check this key. But I think he's going to be disappointed because I think he's going for Ice Cave now, and this is going to be a long sail. Yeah, if Will gets Vorpal, he's going to keep it. I know, he's going to use it too. Unless he gets a better Massa. He'll probably use that. I've used the Vorpal to win matches. I'm sorry, I have used it.
Will checking the 4th floor of Earth here. He wants that sword. Wizards are going to throw out some thunder. Uh-oh.
And the thing about thunder is, it cuts through that ice shield like a knife. So Will is basically weak to thunder at this point, having that ice shield on. Yeah, I don't like the not healing if these things have anything special. That fighter could go down, but he does have life 2 on the red mage, I believe, so not much of a worry. What do you think, Sar? All the swords in ice or what?
Well, we've seen most of the chests in Ice Cave. Right now, I'm thinking Sky. Mirage and Sky has a very high probability of having a good sword.
Yeah, I meant Sky. I just seen Darkmoon and Ice, so that's just what came out of my mouth. Yeah, so Darkmoon's going to do Ice, and he's going to get his news. Meanwhile, Will is heading for Lich. Lich normally gets no respect, so we'll see if Will decides to give Lich a little respect. Because Lich can be nasty if he wants to be.
Lich 1 usually a pushover. He's pretty well prepared. Lich 2, a lot more concern.
Yeah, Lich 1's probably going to go down to a nuke and a sword swing. I can't see it being much less than that. So he's going to fast the fighter up. Let's just fire too. Woohoo! That sword putting in work. 8 hits, 400 and some. So that's 2 orbs for Will at the 52-minute mark. So Will's going to be feeling pretty good about the way the seed is going at the moment. Except he needs that sword. He's kind of... I think he's kind of worried if he doesn't find a sword, he's going to have to come up with an alternate plan for Topher. But it looks like he is going to get the waterfall out of the way, so he'll get his Oxy Ale, and he'll probably do C at the same time. So I like this play.
Right, I'm betting that he is...
The only thing I don't like about this play... Go ahead.
I'm betting that he is wanting another backup sword for his Red Wizard with the fighter strength.
Definitely. The only thing I don't like about this play on Will's part, we know it's going to work out. But if the waterfall wouldn't have the Oxyale, then he'd have to make the long trip to sea and then come back. He'd be double dipping this area. We know it's going to work out because we know the Oxyale's here. But that was probably one of the reasons why I might have hit up Sky before this area.
Right, makes sense for sure. And it looks like we did see exit there at level 7.
Was it learnable?
I don't believe that it was.
But I think Will bought Warp earlier. Wasn't it Warp at level 5?
He does have warp, yes.
Yeah, so he's going to make getting out of this waterfall fairly simple. I like to see Nightmares go down to nukes. Yeah, Seastar is already mid-20s. He's still got Sea and Sky to go, and he's pretty well Topher ready on levels already. By the end of Sea and Sky, he's going to be Topher ready. He's not going to have to grind anymore.
We have our first validation there for the seed. Both runners did see out of bounds bat.
Oh, that's neat. He's been shy lately. Now, I don't believe Darkmoon checked these chests, did he?
No, Darkmoon has not been this deep in Ice Cave yet. He's probably going to be upset that it's deep in Ice Cave.
Yeah, I think everybody's upset that when the item's deep in Ice Cave. There's Will's Oxyale, and now I do believe Will likes the left side strategy first, so he's probably going to come across that loot right away. But now, is he still going to go mode because he still needs a sword? You got Warp. Do you think about the mermaid play?
Perhaps he does not have warp. It looks like he's walking out here. I think that was wall instead.
Well, if he doesn't have warp, then the mermaid play is definitely out of the question. Because he's going to find the loot in the very first chest, because I do believe Will likes to go left side first. So it's going to be interesting to see what Will does.
With the loot, that's going to be go mode for Will.
Exactly, so... And we haven't seen what? We haven't seen the Adamant or the TNT yet. So if do you really want to dig out Sky for a fetch quest that's going to lead you to a power bonk or a white shirt? Especially when you're almost an hour in.
I mean, I think I might go for one of the two.
But you got to realize now that the item isn't Sky. The key item in Sky to start these isn't Sky to start these chains, because that's the only incentivized place we haven't seen. So he's going to have to full clear most of Sky to find it, unless it's early in Sky. I think the bad thing for Will right now is if he decides to check Sky and that incentivized item is there early. But he might not decide to check because he doesn't need it either, right?
Right, maybe do a couple quick checks. Mirage 1 is a quick check. Sky 3 is a quick check. There's a lot of chests on Sky 3.
Looks like he's not going in. This is interesting. He got the Oxyale. Is he going to go to Sky now?
This play surprises me. I'm surprised at this play.
Unless he needs to restock before he... But Onrak has a shop too, so... Maybe he wants to check level 8 spells, but I'm pretty sure Red Mage can't use a single level 8 spell. Even promoted.
Okay, yeah, he wants to see what this bottle is, and looks like Darkmoon is finally headed toward Corneria. Yay!
Yeah, Darkmoon's gonna see this airship and he's gonna be like, he's gonna hang his head and he's gonna be like, uh-oh, because he knows now. And see, Will is skipping out on the TNT. So, does that mean he's not gonna bother checking Sky at this point? He knows he still needs the loot. He knows he's not in Goma. We know he's gonna find it right here. But backing into that TNT...
Yeah, a bit of a gamble, though. We're setting out of the TNT. It could have led to the loot, but ends up being the right play for Will.
Yeah, so the TNT is probably going to end up leading to, like, the Adamant. The Adamant's going to lead to the Bonk or the White Shirt, and the others in Sky right now. I would say, anyway. That's how it has to go. So the bonk or the white shirt is probably in Sky if you look at it that way.
These lobsters quite nasty, having stun potential and glance.
Yeah, I never like lobsters. No, Massa is not incentivized. There is no incentivize. The only things incentivized are the white shirt and the power bonk, aside from the regular key items. But it's going to be interesting to see if Will just might greed check a few chests in here, I think.
You can do a couple of quick checks in here without too much of a worry.
There's the Peanut Room coming up, as I've heard it's called. And then you got Sharknado Room that's got 3 quick chests to check, so... There's so many enemies on the bad list in this game, it's not even fit. I don't think anybody who's played this game has not played a seed where they haven't seen pretty much every enemy with something really bad.
That's just part of playing the game, right?
I've had imps with nuke right off the start. Yeah, so Will's gonna head to take down his 3rd fiend. I can't see him having a problem with Kraken here. Kraken one's usually pretty tame. Meanwhile, Darkmoon's got that TNT. Now, Darkmoon's going to keep that. So he's probably going to give us a look at what that turns into. Meanwhile, he's going to go do a slab translation now, or a slab pickup. Which we know is the chime, so this is required.
Alright, Will coming up on Kraken 1 here. He's going to look over his menus.
Not much to look over. It's just going to be fast and a prayer here. Now, if he had a coral sword, that would be good against Kraken. 4 hits, 58. That's not good. Seven hits less than 100. Yeah, he's going to have to... He got no tempers for that fighter, so it looks like he's going to have to do this on nukes alone.
Chime for Darkmoon now. I wonder if he's tempted to head on into Mirage and Sky.
There's the fast out of Kraken. Will we see a swing, or will he die before we get a chance? Down he goes. That is a 3rd orb for Will at just over 1 hour. And if you're Darkmoon at this point, you picked up your airship at around the 55-minute mark. It was an easy key turn in. You gotta figure Will picked that up at least 20-25 minutes ago. If you're Darkmoon, what are you thinking right now?
Well, he's going to head on over to Sky. From a routing perspective, this is the right play. From an experience perspective, this is the right play. He's probably a grind here. Okay, looks like he's going to do a little harder setting.
Yeah, a T-Rex off a hard reset. With Slowdo, that could slow down the grind a little, but it's pretty weak. Looks like it had around 500 or 600 HP. So yeah, now's the time.
And he's right on it. Yeah, this can work with a blue T-Rex that early in the encounter table.
See, we got Will going into Sky now, and he's going to check this first room. Because like I said, Will saw Kraken 1, a fasted fighter, hitting for, 7 hits, couple of hundred. I mean, against Kraken 2 and Tia 2, that's not going to cut the mustard at this rate.
No, especially if they rolled high absorb. Granted, the giant sword does give you a little bit of crit, and there's the adamant. He finds it early.
So there's the key item, the adamant. So that means this adamant, the adamant and the TNT are going to lead to the white shirt and the bonk, respectively. So at this point, Will knows where that TNT is. After he finishes Sky, do you think about going back for that white shirt and that bonk? Because it's pretty quick. It's not a very long check.
I think it would be a check that should be made, especially, with the current weapon situation.
Yeah, because Will's going to want that bonk at this point. And that white shirt would help his defenses for sure.
Looks like he's going to finish up Sky first.
Yeah, he might as well. He's here, so... He's probably only going to check the greed chest from now on, though, I think.
Taking encounters, he wants more levels as well.
Yeah, and like Classic Gamer says, but level 7 Temper, yeah, you definitely need a bonk for that fighter. And you need a better weapon because, I mean, if you're going to go swinging against Kraken 2 for 200 a pop, eventually he's going to pull out something that's going to ruin your day.
Yeah, and this slow by the T-Rex is really slowing down this grind now. Also has sleep. That's not good for Darkmoon.
Yeah, slow and sleep is going to be bad on that T-Rex. And it's going to take a while to lose that red mage and black as well.
Yeah, I think you got to pack it up here and look for something else. Maybe get a couple more levels if you can, but this would take too long.
I think at this point now, he's got a lot of key items. I mean, I'd almost go back for those mages. Because you're probably going to be getting 7-8k a pop from the two of them. I mean, that's good enough if you can one-shot them right quick.
Yes, I definitely agree on that point.
Well, Will is checking greater than less then. He is chasing the sword, but there's a second ribbon for the fighter. So now this is good, and a pro cape. So now he's going to have his light warriors armed to the teeth at this point.
Yeah, he's defensively set for a two-man strats now for sure. Absorb-wise, he's also looking pretty good. That pro ring is going to give him a boost over that silver gauntlet.
Now I wouldn't be surprised to see him put that Aegis shield on the fighter at this point.
I'd rather leave the ice shield myself. The Aegis doesn't have the absorb bonus, and with the ribbon, you'll be picking up anything the Aegis could give you anyway.
Yeah, but not... Does the ribbon protect you from stone?
It does. It protects from all elemental.
So yeah, that Aegis shield would be... But see, I don't know if I'd want to have something on me that would make me weak to a certain element at this point in time. You know what I mean? Because I think the weakness overrides the ribbon, maybe?
I believe the ribbon does override it. And thank you so much, SG2, for the raid. Welcome in, Raiders. We are in the middle of a contested match here. Final Fantasy Randomizer Spring Tournament, Chaos Comedy Tour. Willcleosis versus Darkmoon EX. We have Willcleosis with a mounting lead at this moment. And here's a good
He's having a little trouble with his grind. That's the worst part. And there's Will's most hated enemy in the game.
No, he wants it, Falconic. He's going to check Sky 3, I think. He's still taking these encounters as well.
Yeah, see, with Warp, this is a really good check. Because you can just warp out to the steps right away. But without Warp, I mean, Will's in go mode. He's short of sword. That's all he needs. And I mean, if he doesn't find it here, he's pretty much going with a giant sword +4.
You also have quite a lot of nuke charges with your Red Wizard and fighter strength on your Red Wizard, so he's in pretty good shape. I think we could push forward without the sword here, but he wants it.
Yeah, see, you can make it through with any sword, given enough bonks and like tempers and fasts and bonks. But the main problem is the longer you give the second set of fiends to get attacks off, the worse shape you're going to be in. You want to get them down fast and hard. If you want something good, you don't want to be wasting rounds tempering and fasting and bonking up, right?
Right. It's also a bit of a gamble here. You're guaranteed a white shirt or a bonk by your turn-in by virtue of the items that you have, whereas just digging here, you're not really guaranteed anything.
No, it looks like Darkmoon is on the grind now. Oh, Massa +1! This is over! This is done! Don't check another chest. You don't need another thing.
Yeah, he's got to feel good about that now, moving forward. Team Vorpal has no problems using the Mass Mutant. We observe that it is a very good sword.
And on the turn of a coin, I will say Team Massa will use Vorpal if it turns out to be better, because I have done it. We just like to rib each other out of fun, that's all. I'd like to make fun of these guys for liking a purple sword.
It's the rivalry. It's like the Indians and the Yankees, right?
This is true. Alright, so Will's a Bridge of Destiny. Get your robots, whatever, out in chat if you want to see a metal chicken show up. Blue, purple, what's the difference?
Darkmoon already at level 38 here, so this grind is sped up quite a bit now, with the Black Belt doing a lot more damage. And he's getting a lot of experience.
He's one-punching that thing now, and that's not even getting the chance. But I think at this point, I think Dark Moon is a little too far behind. Because Will is going to have his 4th Fiend down. He is set for Topher. Armor-wise, weapon-wise, spell-wise. He's going to go straight in, and I can't see anything stopping him.
I could see some issues with still the kind of... He has a bit of a weakness in his lack of evasion. If we get some hard-hitting fiends, he could open a window for Dark Moon, and with level 42 Black Belt, Dark Moon's going to cruise through Temple.
Yeah, well, with a level... Oh, and Bane coming out, smoking Tiamat.
You're awesome, Will.
I mean, the thing about the Black Belt is, when you get into 42, it makes Topher a memory. Basically. You're not worried about Topher. You just gotta get there. You know you're gonna steamroll most of it, aside from a 3 and 256. But
Right, you don't even need to really worry about fast or tempers or any of that at that level.
Yeah, exactly. If you can't get a fast off, your Black Belt is still gonna do 8-9 hits, probably at least 6 to 700 on fast. So you're still gonna 2-shot. But Will's going right in Temple of Fiends. Immediately, he's got the weapons, he's got the armor. Let's see how he does.
1 minute, 9 seconds. Pretty good tempo, considering the folder was not widely available early.
No, this is a good time. If things go right, he could be done by 116, 117, which is a very decent time. Yeah, he's not going for the bonk. Master +1, I mean, you get a fast off. That's probably going to do work at the level he's at. Because, I mean, at level, I think he gets the 6th hit at 32, Sar. You might be able to correct me.
I believe it's closer to 35, but yes, without the Massa, I probably would have made that check for the bonk or the shirt. With the Massa, you're pretty safe not checking it.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, if he wouldn't have got a good sword, then yeah, you got to get the bonk, because you need that extra power. He's going to harm for some mummies. It ain't going to work on that cockatrice, but we all know how birds can be jerks.
So last chance for Warmech coming up on Dark Moon screen.
Yeah, Dark Moon doesn't need a weapon, so at this point he really doesn't care. He's not going to check another box. He doesn't have a ribbon, which kind of worries him, I do believe, unless he found one that I didn't know about. But I mean, this Black Belt is just going to carve everything up now.
So Will has done a very good job showcasing how to do the two-man strat here. I know a lot of people are quite apprehensive about it, but when you have a level 1 nuke, and with the way the equipment has rolled, he's really saved a lot of time not having to grind anywhere, and his levels are pretty well off.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, Will played this seed extremely, extremely well. Like, I mean, Will's a good runner anyway. You can't take that away from him. He always has been. But I mean, this seed just, it almost just lined up perfectly for a fighter.
Hitting 32 now for both characters, so that's solid levels.
He's going to kill these Gurmedusas, the very last one. He doesn't care if it costs him time. He's going to kill them to the last drop.
Ah, vendettas.
They pop up on this floor and he just has visions in his head. It's like PTSD there. He gets a little... Alright, he's going to fast up. I think Lich is not long for this world here.
Yeah, Dark Moon got toxic there by an error, which is quite unfortunate, as Black Belt magic defense should be rather high.
Oh, that is a bad wipe. Yeah, especially with the magic defense at 42.
Dark Moon has some really bad luck. He had several wipes in Marsh Cave. Granted, both runners had wipes, but he got the worst of it in Marsh Cave.
Yeah, and at this point, when you got a fighter and you got this type of armor, leave him in the top slot, even against Kraken 2. Why put a squishy mage up there when you have a fighter that can take the hit? Because Kraken 2, with that armor Will's got on that fighter, Kraken 2 max is going to hit for 300 on a good shot. I would say max.
Right, I might consider it for maybe the Chaos battle, but all the other fiends, you want that fighter in top slot. You have healing magic, you have life too.
Yeah, there's no need to swap your team around when you got a fighter with really good armor. But This could slow Will down a bit there. These waters, they hit hard, even through good absorb.
Welcome in, Adam. We're glad you like the parties here. Coming up to the water floor now. The lobsters proved nasty earlier, but he's getting a hero run. He's taking advantage of the wall here.
Now, here comes the Fiend. That's going to prove it all, but like I said, I don't think Kraken is really going to hit hard. He's got, like, well, he's changing positions. I don't agree with this play, because that red mage could probably be one-shot at this point. I mean, he does have life 2, so there's not much of a worry, but...
Yeah, I think he's banking on life 2 here. Kraken with a spell. That's what Will wants to see. He wants to see spells. Swirl.
Swirl's non-elemental, so that's going to do damage even with a ribbon. But Kraken goes down in 2. Yeah, Will's level 33 now. He's got Tia 2, and... I mean, I don't want a commentator's curse him, but it's going to take something to take him down at this point, I believe.
He's looking in very good position. We have not seen Nuclear. We have not seen Nuke yet. Those are really the only things that he has to be concerned with now.
Yeah. The only other thing that could really hurt him is if Chaos gets rid of that red mage and then tosses out a slow 2 when it hits. He's got a ribbon, so I don't think he's even worried about that. So
Tia 2 not hitting very hard. This should be a simple battle here. He's throwing out that temper.
I don't know. He only hit Tia 2 for 42. So Tia's got some high absorb in this spot. 9 hits 206. So Tia's pretty tough. He's going to temper up that fighter and keep swinging with that +1 massa. 7 hits 300. So, ooh, he's going to try a cheeky Bane here on Tia 2. No.
I love it. Why not? Do it.
That's a better swing. 8 hits 513. Tiamat's pretty much... Oh, down goes the red mage. But he's got life 2 on that fighter, so he's not overly worried.
He chooses not to revive. Iron Golems. Oh no! Oh!
Oh my! That would have been something else.
You're playing with my emotions now, Will. You gotta res and heal up for that reason, people.
Yeah, heal up, because that happened in my race too. I lost my red mage from not healing after Tia 2. Always, always heal.
You always think you can make that next step or two, but oh, it's terrible. That was very close for Will.
Yeah, that could have been what Darkmoon needed to get back in this, but I think he would have had to wipe a second time. Pretty sure Will has got a good enough lead here. But here we go. Fight is on. He's going to fast up that fighter and just swing, because the fighter has nothing else to do. So, red mage takes a nasty hit. 4 hits 266 with the massa. He's got to get some tempers up on that fighter. That's Sar's last temper, so now it's up to Hangry and the Mazza. 3 hits 675, big swinger. Coming out with some lock. Looks like Hangry's going to take another big swing with that Mazza. 7 hits 572. Chaos tried to rub out Sar, but Sar's hanging tough. Couple of locks going out. Looks like Hangry's going to take one last swing. 6 hits 341. Chaos put some high absorb here. But another lock goes out. Chaos hits Sar, takes down Sar, but holy, Hangry comes with the sword. Big hit. Get your GGs out in chat for Will, who finishes with a time of 116.57, I think? 126.52.
GG Will, well played. 2-man strats proved to be the play. He got some really good luck with the equipment that's going on. This is another example of your fighter seed. They do happen, contrary to popular belief.
Yeah, when the weapons and armor line up for your fighter, I mean, there's not much you can do. Hangry and the Massa. They call me the Massasaya.
We're going to get Will in here for a post-race interview shortly. Meanwhile, we have Darkmoon coming up to carry. Let's continue to cheer him on here. And carry is slapped for 10 hits, 1,000 damage.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Dark Moon is just gonna steamroll this seed. See if we can get Will in here for a chat-ola.
Only 6 ambushes that whole run for Will. That's pretty good. That's an example of the fighter has luck that's really nothing to scoff at. It's no thief luck, but the fighter still has pretty high luck.
Yeah, I didn't know luck influenced the surprise and back attacks, though. I thought that was just pure randomness.
It does, yes. It's amazing what the devs have given us and continue to give us with this 30-year-old game.
Yeah, big shout out for our runners here, folks, too. Give them a follow. Darkmoon EX, Willcleosis, both well known in the community. Very good runners, very good fellas. Don't forget to show them some love, along with my co-commentator Sar and our tracker Falconic. We got the old school team here today, it seems.
It's been great. And be sure to check out our Discord there. We got a great community. Get people started. Before we get Will in here, I wanted to give a shout out to Speed Gaming for hosting us. Our crew behind the scenes, Falconic, thank you so much for the on-point tracking, interacting in the chat here. And just a quick note, we have more matches coming up for you folks tonight. Underway now, we have Pizza versus Hayate, and that's in our Red Ankylo pod, and that's over on Randomania 2. At 8 p.m. Eastern, we have Cheesenator versus Rob Draven. That's going to be on RPG Limit Break. And at 9 p.m. this night, we have our very own Caleb versus Kirito, and that's going to be over on Lord Fizzlebeef.
So stay tuned, folks. There is so much Final Fantasy Rando action going on. And if you want to get in on the action, join our Discord. Get in chats, talk about seeds, the community is great. They're willing to help you in any way possible. Don't feel like you can't talk to any of us. You got any questions, just let her fly. There'll be 5-6 people willing to give you an answer because the Discord is always jumping. So Darkmoon
Working to get Will that invite currently.
I wonder if Lich knows what he's in store for in a few minutes. I wonder how much dust Darkmoon is going to shake out of that purple carpet.
I'm about to find out.
Alright, did we get Will in here?
We're still working to get that invite currently. He's not received it yet. Darkmoon is past Lich now, and he is flying through these orbs quickly.
Yeah, so now Darkmoon is going to go straight in. He doesn't need anything else. He's going to hit Topher running, and he is probably going to hit a sub 130, which is still an extremely good time for these seeds, folks. Make sure you give Darkmoon lots of love as well. He's putting on a tremendous show as long as Will.
And I believe we are joined by one Willcleosis in the chat. Will, GG.
Remember me? Remember me? Anybody? Thank you. Thank you, Angry Canuck, Kazar, and thank you, Speed Gaming.
I like the fact you had Hangry swinging that mass at the end. That made me feel good.
Just finding something. I wasted so much time. That's a losing game right there against, I think, a lot of people. I think I got pretty fortunate to find something. I was looking for Vorpal, of course. That's what we wanted. I mean, obviously, but I know nothing in sight. No sight of defense, Excalibur, anything, really.
It's great to have you back in the booth, Will, and back in the tournament. Some competitive gaming. Walk us through that early game. You're just getting started. What are you trying to get into here? Was there any ring rust, do you feel?
I don't think so. There was a little bit, but I don't think enough to say that there was rust. A couple mistakes. We got the crown, and I kept thinking it was the canal. So I kept trying to go over there because I was trying to get out of the inner sea and start to do some rapping. I don't think I usually make that mistake, so something like that could cost you in this tournament. 88 people. But as far as rust, I don't think so. I'm here for the fans. I'm here for Speed Gaming, and I'm here for some great people.
Yeah, I think the thing that separated you two was the fact is once you got the key, you went right back and checked and got the floater. Darkmoon didn't go check that key till after he did on rack and most of the northern continent, so he didn't get into the air till about close to the hour mark.
I avoided that like the plague because of the lack of exit or warp. Exit was white mage slot only, level 7 over an on rack, and I never saw warp. If I did, I missed it. So I was avoiding that as much as possible because I didn't want to walk, and especially that early you get something that knocks you out, and you didn't want that to happen. So I stayed in that area as much as I possibly could.
The two-man strat. You see the bonuses early. You see that red mage has fighter strength, and that fighter has extra agility. Did that influence your decisions, or were you coming in thinking that's your party the whole way?
My party the whole way. Yep.
Nice.
Ouch. Darkmoon just wiped out Lich 2 for 3k.
That's the power of the black belt. Again, we're seeing it fly through Temple here. The stars did align the seed, however, and there was some very nice defensive gear available. We saw you pick up that Ice 4 and take it over the Aegis shield. You were more interested in that absorb, Will?
That's correct. Once we had, I forgot about switching it, to be honest. But originally it was the absorb, and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to keep this on. And when I dug out a second ribbon, I went to switch it to the Aegis. I'm like, wait a second, that's the reverse of what I want to do. But it was for the absorb. I had no access to evasion. I'm assuming turning in. I'm assuming turning in that, what was it, adamant or the TNT would have given some sort of evasion, but I was going to knock him out. So I was going to go for it. And if they got me, they got me.
Awesome stuff, Will. We love it.
I'm assuming you saw that golem fight at the end, right before Chaos?
Oh yeah, and I had, about 5 minutes ago, I had just said it's going to take something to stop him, and there, that almost stopped you.
Oh, that won't ever happen again. I'll tell you that right now. I learned a lesson today, guys. We always learn lessons, whether it's for getting red mage permissions when you get one forced. So we do that from time to time. All of us do. And that won't happen again, I'll tell you that.
I didn't know you had a goatee, sir.
I didn't either. Apparently, my camera's pulling tricks on me right this moment. The commentary is getting a little treat here.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen you on cam before. Meanwhile, Kraken 2 just went down to an awful slap. So it looks like Darkmoon now, he's lost his red mage, so he's just going with the black belt and the black mage at this point, but I mean, with a black belt with 999 hit points, level 45, yeah, it's probably just a fast and a punch to finish this off here. Danny, with the big punch, 8 hits. Oh, well, we know Tiamat was pretty beefy, because it took Will a few shots with that Bassa to get him, so. But the second swing, 18 hits, 1.3k is more than enough. Darkmoon not healing, but he didn't need to. He didn't get nothing, Will. He didn't get nothing.
We saw you throw out the tempers there, Will. And we see the victory lap here from Darkmoon. That's always awesome. You felt good with one temper going into Chaos?
No, but I had to get through Tiamat to get to Chaos. And the first swing of that Mazmoon thing was 5 hits for 32 damage. So I said, all right, well, the fast came off after that. I should be able to get up to 10 hits, probably 8. And I had to make those hits stronger because it was the Mazmoon. You know, it's a pretty good weapon. It wasn't a game changer. You weren't going to get crit rate and things like that, which I really wanted. So I had to temper that thing up to make sure I got past it to get to Chaos.
Needless to say, Danny's fast at hitting Chaos for 5 hits, 801. DVS coming out with nukes. Danny swinging. Danny swings again, 5 hits, 801. Get your GGs out in the chat for Darkmoon. Well run by both of these runners, folks. It was an incredible match.
Indeed, what a match. Some very high-level play showcased here by both runners. Darkmoon had that grind going really quickly. It was a little stalled at first. He ended up using T-Rexes off the hard reset outside the Mirage Tower.
I thought about that when I ran into one on my way to Ordeal, but I'm not doing that. So if I only do that if I need to, like you run into something like if that Falconic, the Enforcer rolls a seed, you better think about doing something like that.
We're going to get Darkmoon in here for the post-race interview. So you're 1-0 in your pod. How are you feeling moving forward in the tournament?
Well, I got home field advantage here in the 2021 Final Fantasy Randomizer Spring Tournament. It's the Vorpal pod. I mean, come on. I'm in it, so I got home field advantage. I'm feeling really good about it. I'm just here to have fun. I used to be the master of opponent study, and I used to play a lot. I used to do a whole lot of other things. And there's a lot of things that I don't even know right now. These bonuses, I had to actually go to my opponent, and hats off to him. He helped me and gave me a link to something that told me about bonuses, because I had no idea what some of the jargon meant. That's the truth of it. And thank you again to Darkmoon, my opponent. That being said, it is the Vorpal Pod. I'm here to have fun and have a good time, get with you guys, and enjoy the game that we all grew up on, the game that we certainly all love. But as far as studying opponents and everything and making my moves, I'm still going to make moves, but it isn't going to be anything like you ever saw me with the controller in my hand in the past.
All right, we're just waiting on Darkmoon to join us here, and we'll get his thoughts on the seed as well. So don't forget, folks, there's still lots of Final Fantasy Rando action coming up tonight, tomorrow, the next day, probably for the next month or more. So if you want to get your fill of Final Fantasy Rando, keep it checked to Speed Gaming, Random Mania, and RPG Limit Break. And GG Darkmoon.
Yay!
GG Darkmoon, well played.
I guess.
So I think the first question that we want to ask is, tell us about that key in Corneria.
I forgot Canaria Locked existed.
No, that's what happened.
Don't know why, because I literally have the list of locations right in front of me, but the green on the website just blended in with the gray or something. I don't know, and I didn't notice it there until it was too late. And after I've done all my other turn-ins, I'm like, what's left? There's nothing left. I've done everything. And then I'm like, wait, Canaria's green. I didn't do Canaria. How did I forget Canaria existed? So I sailed over there, and I'm like, okay, I need this to not be floater. I need this to be anything but floater. But I'm sitting there in my head going, it's floater because it's the only location left. And it was, and I'm sitting there going, I threw away a jet seed because it feels like it was. I did the math in my head the second that happened, and I'm sitting there going, that was a 15-minute mistake. Easily. And I lost by 10.
I guess my question would be, you found those two mages in Aston's place, and you were grinding on them, and you stopped at about the 20 level. Did you ever think about going higher?
They were taking too long, and my black belt wasn't hitting them well enough, so just the combination of how long it was taking, I'm sitting there going, 21's good enough to get some stuff to run for me, which stuff on the sea already was starting to once I left. And I just want to get some completion done and earn some quick walking levels so that whenever I decided on a better tile to grind, I'd be able to do that. But in my head, the first encounter on the table was only 4 steps away. So when I see something like that, my immediate first thought is to go, as soon as I can actually get over to Sky Palace area, is just to check the 4 zones right there at Sky Palace and immediately do a grind. But once I did my clearing and I had the chime, I'm like, okay, I'll go over here, I'll finally do my grind. Tyro on the first step, and I'm like, or T-Rex even, and I'm like, yep, I will take that. I just need to get my guys to fall down so my black belt can take all the levels he wants. And I basically just burned every save item I had except for 2, and that was the grind I wanted to do. The mage was just to make sure that my black belt could stand up while I was doing some of my checks.
So I want both runners' thoughts on this one. I'll start with you, Darkmoon, as you seem to get the worst of it. Marsh Cave. Talk us through the Marsh Cave.
The Blaze Skeleton sucked. I don't think there's any other way to do it. We were forced to go there for the canal, I was level 20-ish, but it was... No, I wasn't even level... I think that was before my grind. So I was like level 9-ish. And I'm sitting there going, these are really foul, but they can't be every encounter. So all I gotta do is find out where the canal, or the canal, because we knew it was the canal basically, where that was, so I could just go and get that. And I was just praying it wasn't on the bottom floor because there was more chances for those skeletons to show up. And thankfully, top floor, and I knew I just had to scum the encounter table enough to get through without seeing them, basically.
Will, you had a smoother time through the Marsh Cave. Still took a couple wipes. Walk us through that.
I didn't like it at all. Do we have the mage staff at that point? No, I don't think so.
I don't think we did. I think it was just the 2 nuke fade casters.
There's a reduced encounter rate here in this design, and I'm pretty much fearless because of that. of any type of dungeon, really any type of dungeon almost. That is early game, and I use it to my advantage aggressively, and it stunk, obviously, but I wasn't doing any real encounter manipulation with the hard reset, so I knew that my opponent might not run into what I did with the wipe, and I was almost out, and he could have taken the lead on me. I said, all right. So I said, well, what exactly how I'm going to do this? We're out of the inner sea, which is what I wanted. I was going to get outside with that boat, but I couldn't find the warp or the exit, so I had to stay in that area, which really worked out.
Yeah. Yeah, the fact that warp or exit wasn't, like, available to us early on, and I don't know where it was, because past level 5, I don't bother checking magic generally anyway. So I don't really know. I found Fast, I found Nuke. I had Fade that I could have picked up, but I didn't even bother, because we had Nuke and we had Ice 3. The math wasn't there for how much it was costing. So past level 5, I didn't bother buying much of anything, and it worked out fairly okay. It's just the fact that I'm assuming you got the floater almost instantly, right?
No.
No?
I didn't do what you did. They told me what you did. I wasn't going near that without warp or exit that early.
Okay.
I would have lost too much time. What did I do? The crystal was screaming at me, so what I was going to do was get out of the inner sea. I went to Volcano to get money, so I did the armory, dug out a ribbon, and just enough money. And then I was going to go and use that dock over by Provoca that no one uses.
Oh, yeah.
I was gonna. And I just started naturally going back to all the years that we've been playing this game to walk back to Provoca. I was like, oh, shoot. I guess I'm going this way. Because I was going to get the crystal and then zap over to Matoya because it was right there in the boat. And so I kind of messed up the routing. But, so I did it in order, kind of, I guess, but it was not pretty. It wasn't pretty at all.
Prettier than what I did. No, yeah, that was totally, like, if you actually had my webcam up, which I don't think we do on this, well, actually, you might have on this layout, you could have just seen that moment where, like, I was like, floaters here, and I just hung my head in shame afterwards.
We've all been there before. We know.
Yeah.
We've all made mistakes like that.
Yeah.
Not talking to Vicky after you beat the pirates, maybe?
Yeah, I've done that. I think the first loss of the tournament that I had of the 2 so far, I last location Sarda for a bit, so that was also bad. There's always one. There's always one with me. But still, even with this, I want to point out this was still a PB for me on these flags, which I feel really dirty about.
Hey, a sub 130 on these flags is nothing to sneeze at, man. That's a quick run.
Yeah. No, that T-Rex is all the credit for that, because I didn't have to worry about Temple of Fiends once. I'm like, I don't have a ribbon, but I don't care. I'm 48.
Well, you didn't have a ribbon going through Sky either, and look how that carried you.
Oh, what was that? Like, that had to be a 3 and 256 toxic right there. But I already knew, like, that was post-floater, so I just laughed at that one, because I was sitting there going, yep. Well, I mean, Will was going to win this one anyway, but that one certainly cemented it. Because, I mean, between that and forgetting to save, because of my nerves, forgetting to save at Crescent and having to redo my flight to Crescent, restock, and go to Volcano, I probably lost 5 minutes there. Like, he was still winning based on the time we had, but it could have been closer.
So you are 0-1 now I believe you are almost done.
1 and 2.
1 and 2, excuse me. How are you feeling about your position moving forward in the tournament?
Well, I'm going to have to do a play-in race. I guess it depends on how the key items lay out and if I forget something, because I'm feeling good after this one as far as my technical skill. I'm feeling bad after this one because of my memory. So we're gonna see how that play-in race does. I think it's a coin flip if I make it into brackets or not at this point.
There's a lot of good players out there. We're seeing it every night.
Yep. All that class of ducks we trained up, they're getting too good for me.
They are. They're putting up some, really good times here. We saw another race this evening where the runners had to adjust. Marsh Cave caused you both to adjust, and you adjusted quite well. It's great to be back in the trenches here, guys, with folks like you running here.
And I hope to run into Willcleosis again in the brackets, now that I'm basically done with my pods.
It'd be a pleasure.
Yeah, totally.
Well, that said, I think we're going to move on to our closing thoughts here for this Vorpal Pod race. Darkmoon, we'll start with you. Thank you so much for the race this evening. Well played. Final thoughts on the race this evening and moving forward.
Remember, kids, Canaria Locked exists.
Thank you so much for that. Willcleosis, can't wait to see you race again, buddy. Any idea when your next race is?
I'm going to actually get with my 2 upcoming opponents. I got one waiting in the wings right now to chat with. I'm not exactly sure. My time is very difficult. I'm very busy, let's put it that way. I'm difficult to get a hold of, and I sure hope it's not a pain. But given the design of making these matches, it's helped certainly a lot. But actually, no idea. I'm gonna see what my opponent pops up, and if it works for me, then I'll do it, sort of thing. And you guys touched on the Duckling program. Wow, what an idea that was, I'm sure. Anyone who wants to play this game, if you grew up on this game, if you're just finding out about it, and you want to play, you want to be on TV, you want to have fun, you want to hit the microphone with Czar or someone like the legendary Hangry Canuck, that is the program to learn how to play the game and learn things that you probably never even knew, like a ribbon I threw away when I was a kid. And you can learn that all, and that's a great program. The best in any community there is.
Well, there it is. Well, thank you so much for the praise there, Will. I want to thank Speed Gaming. I want to thank my commentary partner tonight, Hangry Canuck. I want to thank Falconic behind the scenes, keeping us up with the date with the track. The entire Final Fantasy staff. Hangry, I'll send it over to you to close us out here. Been a pleasure doing this stream with you, bud, and I can't wait till the next one.
Yeah, GG to boat runners. Sar, it's a pleasure to be in the booth with you again. Will, I hope I can get in the booth with you sometime this tournament. If we can make it happen, that'd be good.
Okay.
Falconic, thank you for tracking so much, keeping us on our toes. Darkmoon Will, give these runners a follow, folk. You're going to see some good matches coming up between them. So, on behalf of me, the Hangry Canuck, my co-commentator Sar, our tracker Falconic, our runners Willcleosis and Darkmoon EX, we wish you all a very fabulous